Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 19 of our War for X series. Currently, we are dealing with an economic crisis, with our Galasite and wealth reserves slowly ticking down, though we are on the way to recover in terms of our wealth and our, I guess you would call that GDP for the nation. In terms of our military efforts, we are proving ourselves pretty damn equipped to deal with the enemy. So far, we haven't had too many problems, and we've been able to resecure Kareem. We've been able to resecure many of these different outposts, and we're going to hopefully retake Nerox in the near term. However, that was not without cost. The 1st Tank Division on Kareem took heavy casualties, though, yeah, it got its forces back. I'm not sure where the artillery battalion came from, but the infantry forces here, we lost about 60,000 tons of ground force, it looks like, and we're going to need to get replacements for those. We lost about 10,000 infantrymen in the engagement, 10,000 casualties in retaking the occupied world. We also showed last episode that surface assault weapons are of immense value, and as such, we should realistically be trying to use them to stop any ground invasion, because a ground invasion is far costlier to retake than it is for another kind of invasion. So we're going to recolonize Kareem. We're going to try and get over to Nerox. I'm going to try and re-establish those network links. But the most important thing right now is sorting our economy out so that we can actually continue to reformat our military, keep building up new vessels, and keep going, especially because we're trying to build as many missiles as possible. We currently have 255 missiles in stockpile. We're going to need thousands and thousands of missiles to arm our navy. And to do this, we are scrapping vessels, and I'm going to begin scrapping further carriers, specifically the Akagi class carriers, which are now obsolete in their use. So if we go over to our naval organization tab, and we go over to our current carriers, so we have the Transvaal, which is an Akagi class carrier, which is in orbit of Kareem right now. We have the Luthien, which is a newer carrier, and then we have Carrier Strike Group 3, which has the Normandy. And with the Normandy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to detach, I'm going to launch all its fighters, and then we're going to get rid of the Normandy, because I don't see its use as being very useful anymore, because we now have access to the Luthien class carriers, which we will continue to build on too. All right, let's start incrementing along here. How's our research before we do that? Yep, our research is fine. We're going to have research rate increasing, which will be fantastic for us. Oh, we were also dealing with the situation in Telos with fuel supplies, but I believe we got a guy over there to handle that. Yes, we did. And then we'll build Squadron 2. If you begin a refuel from stationary tankers and then head back to Seoul and then refuel, resupply, that would be fantastic. There we go. They're now back. And let's get the tanker out of here. So we're going to get the Jinsu class tanker out. Now, there's an idea that I have for maintaining a significant better presence between systems. So the biggest issue we have, right, is we want to colonize down this line because these are where the most habitable systems are. If we turn on populated systems, so these are our populated systems, right? If we then turn on habitable, so normal gravity, include low gravity, low colony cost world. There we go, normal gravity. These worlds all have various low-cost worlds, especially this, Terra Nova. But together over there is a significant distance. From Sol to Minerva is 27.5 billion kilometers. That is more range than we can affordably do. This means we need to set up some kind of outpost in between to provide fuel and resupply. The first obstacle is that from Alpha to Zitomir, it's a significant distance, but from Sol to Alpha approximate, it's fairly short. So we need some kind of fuel dump or fuel depot there that can provide a reasonable amount of supplies, but also something that can defend itself and act as basically a naval base. In this effort, I have come up with the idea of modules, which we can then attach, well, not really attach together, but keep in the same area to refuel and then resupply, and then also keep a garrison with. And that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is we've got this module here, which I'll rename this to the OSF fighter module FM1. Yeah, fighter defense module. And then I also want to design, because I was going over this, and this can basically carry what our current carriers can carry. But we're going to create a copy of this. I also was messing around with the supply modules here. The cost is pretty exorbitant, but we would be able to support a defensive formation of destroyers or something similar. We would not really be able to support a carrier group, unfortunately, but we could support a defensive squadron. So this would be a supply module, so I'll rename this to supply or SM1 supply module. And then I was also looking at colonists to provide recreational support, which is what this is. So this is going to be renamed. I'm going to have a new hull to I'll call this a barracks module. I think that makes sense. So BM, and then we'll rename this to barracks module 1. And the point of this will be to hold 200,000 tons of colonists. We could also put on troop transport, and the purpose of such troop transports would be for holding a large force of ground forces, but I don't think it's necessary because we'll probably just have other vessels near it. The next thing that we're going to need is a fuel module, or something that can hold that fuel for us. So I'm going to create a new design, and I'm going to copy off this. We're going to remove the maintenance modules, which are very expensive. We're going to remove the maintenance bays, and we are going to put on a refueling hub. So this is 100,000 tons, and we are going to put on a bunch of fuel. So we need approximately, I'd say 30 million liters of fuel is probably what we would want for something like this. So we would go for a large, so that's 4. Let's go for 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to need a lot more, aren't we? Yes, we are. So 125, 31 million liters of fuel. Let's take away a few of these. And then let's turn that into a tanker. There we go. Also make sure it's got a conscript crew. So this would be, this would be a tanker module. Okay, tanker module. And then we would also rename this to TM1. And we'll take away the cargo shore stations, which we don't need. This would have 30 million liters of fuel available for it, and then we can refuel it from tankers. The purpose, of course, would be, its only real purpose would be the defensive operation. And where would we put this? Well, these collections of modules I'd likely put over this jump point here, the Zitomirian jump point. And the purpose of that would be that if we manage to put such an outpost between these areas, that means it's only a 4 billion kilometer trip from Arrakis, from the Alpha jump point to Zitomir. It's about a 6 billion kilometer trip to Nerox, but then we have the Arrakis staging ground, which we can use. Compare this to if we go into Alpha, we add on this trip, which is another billion, we're talking about nearly 8 billion kilometers. So this would cut the journey down significantly in terms of a quick response force, and would mean we would have a constant fuel supply between these two areas. Of course, there is going to be some negatives in that, it's going to cost a lot. It's probably going to cost us, let's look at this. So 3,000, 5,000, 8,000, 3,000, 11,000. Yeah, you're looking at like 11,000 build points to realistically do this, plus this. So yeah, about 11,000 build points. Another thing that we're going to need is active sensors of some kind. So we're going to, I'm going to put on just some basic active sensors, put on this. But we will, I think beginning to build this out is a good idea, but for now we can't do it until we get our Galaxite sorted out for us. But let's start incrementing along. It's definitely an idea I want to play with, though. Now we've got a bunch of stuff currently on Alpha 3 right now. Alpha 3, we will move all this stuff over. So commercial freight group. So commercial freight group was moving stuff, if I remember myself correctly. You're sitting here and you're waiting to move over infrastructure, maintenance facilities. Now go back to Sol. You're not safe here. Same with you. You go back to Sol. You are also not safe. And then we will move over Naval Squadron 3 and then Pleasure Squadron 2. Pleasure Squadron 2 is in the area. We'll send you to Kareem. And then for Naval Mobility Squadron 3, you are going to head back to Sol and move to Earth. As part of this as well, we need to turn Arrakis into more of a defensive area, something that we can use for further fuel supplies. Right now, it's not getting any fuel in, it's not getting any maintenance supplies in, and that's a bad thing for us. Currently on Earth, we are running out of maintenance supplies, but we do have plenty of fuel, so we can be in shipping over fuel easily. So Earth, we're going to go to we're going to go to Arrakis, and we'll do this every year. But I think this will it takes a long enough time anyway. About 50 days to reach. It takes about 82 days to reach. There's 160 days total. That gives it nearly 6 months. So we will do every 6 months, I think. So let me just 15. And then we will leave through to Alpha. So 173 days. And then we will go to Zitomir. And then we will transfer fuel to Colony. We will then auto route back to Sol. We will refuel from Colony. And we will set that up as a cycle move order. Just fine. The escort squadron over here, we are going to detach you because obviously we found that they can't do their standing orders correctly. So deployment exceeded, refuel, resupply, fuel is 50%, refuel at Colony, and we're going to have you join with the fuel transport squadron. So you are going to follow that fleet and make sure your actives are on. Your actives are on. So you'll be refueling from there. In terms of our harvesters, we are getting a lot of fuel in, 25 million litres of fuel, and it's working out well for us. It's currently the maintenance supplies because we need large stockpiles of uridium, duranium, and also galaxite to properly be able to supply ourselves. Uridium is also going to be a problem coming up here, but we are producing that on Callisto, so we should be fine as needed. We're just going to need a lot more mining. Once the research rate is done, I'm going to focus on trying to get mining production rates, because that is what's going to really limit us going forward here. Low gravity infrastructure on Earth not able to be shipped over to Kareem. We can currently support 1 million people on the outpost, so that's what I will do. Colony group, load up on Alpha 3. You're going to load up colonists, unload them onto Kareem, refuel from Colony. Well, you can't make refuel, but repeat this 3 times, and then you'll be done. For the commercial freight group 1, you can't load over stuff because they are finished. We have 2 escorts for you. Freight group 3. Escort Squadron 6, Escort Squadron, this Escort Squadron. The Labrador, we're going to detach, and we're going to delete its strike group. It's not even a strike group. We're going to delete all these fighters here. So detach them, and we're going to delete. And then we are going to have the Labrador be scrapped because it is not of any use to me at the moment. Let me go find. Do we have a capacity available? No, we don't. But we want to scrap those old vessels and replace them with Blizzard class vessels as needed here. Pleasure Squadron is now orbiting Green, which is good news. We'll keep them there for now. Commercial Colony Group coming up. The Devonshire was just scrapped, so that is one of our vessels. And then we're going to begin scrapping the next vessel. So we're going to scrap the Soryu class. We're going to scrap the Yucatan. There wasn't a Yucatan, was it? Let me go have a look. Escort Squadron 6. You're currently a little bit away from Earth for some reason. Let's just move you over then. And then we can begin scrapping of that vessel. Scrap the Soryu, scrap the Labrador. Get that done. What is going on with our older exploration vessels? So the Lamprey, these are all just fighters. We have scrapped all of the older ships. And we are now reducing the amount we're maintaining, so we can not worry about the maintenance stuff too much more. Our production modifier is also coming back up, which is good. We got a lot of infrastructure currently being built, and we're trying to ship that over to Europa at the moment. To get more people mining, more and more galaxite, and that's going to take a lot to do. Currently on Earth, how much infrastructure do we have? In 1,000 infrastructure available. So let's just start getting that moved over. We should be able to do that pretty easily. So we currently have 10 ankings here. Begin loading up infrastructure and then shipping it over to Europa, and then refuel from Colony, and then just cycle those orders accordingly. At least the fuel situation has sorted itself out. Commercial Mineral Group 1, I believe those resources were from we were getting from the Colony. Projected usage actually is looking better now, which is good, but that was from Arrakis, if I remember myself. So if we go over to Commercial Lift, Commercial Mineral Group, so this is the old Soryu. Do we have a replacement? So the JNS Soon is currently, you're following this vessel. So if we go over, I would love to see if that's actually working out as I expect to work out. So the JNS Soon, so Escort Squadron, you're currently following Commercial Salvage Group 2. No, that's not working out. Why are you over here? Okay, come back over here. You are going to, okay, You need to sort your maintenance life out. But for now, you're fine. You're going to join up with Commercial Mineral Group 1. You're going to join... you're going to follow within 45,000 kilometers of that vessel, okay? Then, I'm going to order Commercial Mineral Group 1 to head to Zitomir every year. So 366. I believe it's 36. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's wrong. Since we have fuel, actually, just go to now, because otherwise it'll cause us issues. Standard transit through to Alpha. That's 400 days. I don't want that. Remove. Standard transit 31. Yeah, 31, 456, and then standard transit. 358 days. There we go. Perfect. And then we're going to go to Zitomir. We're going to load all minerals. We're then going to bring that back to Sol, and we're going to unload all those minerals accordingly. Cycle those move orders. Okay. Commercial Mineral Group 1's completed orders. That's fine by me. We've trained up a regimental headquarters on Earth. We need a lot more forces to be moved over. So we currently have those 4. We've got a bunch of regimental headquarters ready to go. Now the problem is, of course, is we need actual infantry to fill those positions, which we are training up. But that's going to take some time, of course. And then we're Squadron 3 has reached Earth. That's good news. Commercial Freight Group 1 has completed orders. I believe that was them moving back, if I remember myself correctly. Yes, I do believe so as well. How is this research coming? Okay, we'll nearly have that done. We just got to wait 1.2 months now. Commercial Salvage Group cannot finish orders, so we'll order Commercial Salvage Group 2 to head to Sol and unload all ship components, unload all minerals, and you have a lovely bunch of resource, especially Galasite, that we're going to need back at home to begin building up more and more ships and more vessels that obviously will be needed. Okay. And in terms of infrastructure, we are trying to grow this colony as much as we can, but it's a lot of infrastructure needed here. That's why we need to get over, like, terraforming, really. We probably need to restart maintenance production, though for now we seem okay. Galasite is actually, we're getting more production than we are losing, which is good news. A Yangtze Block 2 was built at Earth, which is fantastic. And we did get our research rate, which is good. Okay. With that, I'm going to begin research into... That'll take 2 years, but that'll be a good increase in terms of mining production. That's what I'm going to focus on next. And then with our shipyards, we're going to continue to build out more and more destroyers. We do need to get the DDX, those newer destroyers into line. We are building out Yangtze Block 2s right now. We're building out a lot of them, but I want to stop building them and start building the newer DDGX, which, if we go over to here, is ready to go. Yeah, that's a fully ready ship to go. We're going to rename this. We're going to select a new name. I think we'll go for the name of Dinosaurs Dune, Europe, Culture, Countries, Forts. I like the idea of islands. Well, that's not many islands, is there? Jordan. I believe we had the proper names down here. If I go to J, I'm looking for J. Japanese rivers. There we go. We'll rename this the Abashiri class missile destroyer, and we will begin a retooling effort. So that'll finish off those that we have there. Oh yes, we were just waiting up that to see that get finished. In terms of the new cruisers, the Haruna class cruiser, we are waiting on the we're waiting on the new Mark 1 missile launching system, and that's going to require higher reload rates. So I'm going to take away some labs from this, and I'm going to assign it over here. I'm going to try and get missile launcher reload rate up, if possible. That's going to be quite a big of a timeline difference, but we'll have to see and wait. Okay. Expensive mining companies, combat engineer battalions, train on Earth, which is good news. We want to get those shipped out all over the place. We have a combat engineer battalion already on Kareem, but I want to get one shipped over to Arrakis if we can. Arrakis has no infantry on it. I don't know how these forces got moved over like this. Let me go over then to our naval mobility squadron. We're going to load ground units. We're going to load up a combat engineer battalion. We're also going to load up another combat engineer battalion. We're going to take... So what areas need them? Invictus would love one. So would Arrakis. So we're going to take this over to Sizimir. We're going to have you unload this combat engineer battalion. And then we're going to go to Talos. And we're going to unload that. And then we're going to head back to Sol. And we're going to refuel. Hopefully, you should be able to accomplish all of that fairly easily. But yeah, they'll be able to start digging stuff in, which will be very, very important. All right, we're starting to unload stuff. We can begin to actually scrap some of these. So I'm going to scrap this because we're not going to use that anymore. We have a bunch of sensors. This can be disassembled. These engines can all be scrapped because we're not going to use them anymore. Scrap, scrap. Same with these sensors. We're not going to use those anymore, so let's just scrap those out. We'll keep the gravitational and geological survey sensors because we'll probably use those again. We also have a lot more 100mm cannons now available for us, which we can make use of on whatever ships we do desire. Repairs have been carried out on the CV Kent. The Kent maintenance clock is high. What's going on with that? Where is the Kent? Escort Squadron, Yucatan, Quebec. Freight Squadron 1, Commercial Group 1. Where is the Kent located? That'll probably in the Naval Mobility Squadron, I would imagine. The Kent. Refuel resupply. I'm going to have the Kent detach. I'm going to have you then begin your overhaul and refuel resupply. And then you're going to rejoin up with Naval Mobility Squadron 1 when you are done. So Naval Mobility Squadron 2. Join the subfleet once you are done with that. All right, begin refueling process. Commercial salvage group, not possible, not possible. VLS 8 cell in Zitomir on that destroyer. That's because we don't have what we need, which is bad. We need maintenance supplies to be shipped over there as quickly as we can, realistically speaking. We need to relieve those guys. Commercial supply group 1. You have 10,000 MSP, but you don't really have enough to do what I want to do. So let us start production on maintenance supplies once again. That is going to obviously require a lot more in terms of our stockpile usage, but that's going to be important. It's going to be needed. Let me go over to one of our supply vessels. We should have some maintenance supplies available. Yes, we do. We're going to do an emergency drop. I'm going to detach the 6th Destroyer Squadron to join up as an escort to this. So join the subfleet. And you are going to head to Zitomir. You're going to transfer maintenance supplies to the colony, and then you're going to head back to Zitomir, not Zitomir Alpha. Head to Kareem, and we are also going to get something to relieve that. So I need a destroyer squadron available for me. So destroyer squadron 4 is sitting on Earth with 4 DDs, 1 Aberdeen, and these are the older vessels. So this is not a very state-of-the-art line of ships. But the Congos are currently not very state-of-the-art, to be honest, either. We'll relieve them with Destroyer Squadron 3 if possible. Let me have a look at my Destroyer Reserves. So Fleet Reserve. We have Destroyer Reserves. We have 2 DDGs available. So we can do that. So I'm going to get rid of that tanker. We're then going to put into this Destroyer Squadron. We're going to put in the JNS Nova Scotia. So bring that over. And that gives us that squadron ready to go. We're then going to begin loading ordnance, refuel, resupply. This will give us 144 missiles. I would love to send a cruiser over, but we're going to just have to send these guys over. Once you've done that, head to Zitomir, head to Arrakis, refuel from the colony. Another thing that I'll do as well with our replenishment squadron, if we have the fuel, is going to be trying to transfer fuel to the colony and then head back to Sol and move to command. No, not head back to Sol, head to Alpha. Head there and then we'll give you new orders in a bit. Commercial Salvage Group 2 can't complete. That's because they were on standing orders. Let's just have them stop. But no, those Galacite we're getting from those salvage wrecks is really helping us out, which is fantastic for us. If we have a look here, we are now going to be using a lot more maintenance supplies, but it's going to be needed to keep maintenance up. Commercial colony group is done. We now have 1 million people on Kareem, which means that we can support more maintenance facilities being moved over, which is exactly what we will do. So over here, 40 maintenance facilities should be able to support approximately, 64,000 tons of forces. So what I will have moved over with those 1 million people. So we can have 2, 4, 4, 8, 16. Yeah, so we can have approximately 16 maintenance facilities on the colonies. That's what we will have moved. Let me go over to commercial freight group 1. I'm going to have you go to Alpha, go to this moon, load maintenance facilities, unload onto this colony, and then head back, and then, yeah, unload on that colony, and then repeat that about load installation, maintenance facilities. Can you repeat that 3 times? They can't because it's not the same, isn't it? We'll have civvies do it instead. Civvies, go over here. Civ requirements. We will supply 16 and we will demand a total of 16 maintenance facilities to be moved over. So demand 16. There we go. How is Europa colony coming along, by the way? We are growing it up. We are growing. We are getting more mining as much as we can get, realistically speaking. And we're trying to get more facilities. We're nearly out of our economic downturn right now. Engineer battalion shown on Earth suffered maintenance failures in Alpha, and CV Northumberland, CV Essex suffered a maintenance failure. I believe where the hell is the Essex? There's a problem. I lose track of where all these ships are. So that's the Yucatan. Was the Essex the one we were talking about over here? And it was Squadron. What's the Northumberland? Supply squadron, transport squadron, fuel harvesters, fuel transport group, this transport group, commercial supply group, commercial freight group. I can't find where the hell that is located at. Let me have a look here. Yes, indeed. Scraps, combat engineer battalions coming in here. The JSS Norby was just scrapped, which is good news. So that is another vessel down that we don't have to worry about now. If we go over to Carrier Strike Group 3, yeah, they now don't have a carrier. What carriers do we have of the Kagi? We have the Transvaal, which is over in Carrier Strike Group 2, which is sitting above Kareem right now. Let's send you guys back to Sol. Move to location. Carrier Strike Group 1 is orbiting this area right now. We need to get repairs on the Stefano. So I'm going to begin repairing Aberdeen. Let's get that Stefano class repaired. We need to get a lot of these guys actually placed to the proper designations for them. We also need to get the Congo class refitted up. The Congo should have a V2 version or a Block 2 version, but we don't have that yet. If we go with Yangtze, I mean, we should just be able to fit on additional stuff. So we'll just go to the Congo, we'll copy, update the armor, take the engines off, put on new engines. So these will be the ID. What are the engines we're using on the Block 2s? These are the ID375s. So we'll use the ID375 on here. So 1, 2, 2. And then we can fit on additional weapon systems. So we're going to take off the 155mm cannons. So we'll only have 1 on each. We will put on additional railgun weapon systems because we have them very cheap and available. No, we don't want the 1x3. We want the big ones. There we go. 24 available weapons. We can also up the armor to 4 layers of armor. We can reduce the amount of fuel we're putting on the actual vessel because we don't need as much thanks to more efficient engines, which is good. And then we can put on better reactors because currently we are using the older JFR reactors, which are a lot less efficient. So put on new power plants. We will put on MMFR. So this power output is 3.0. 18. Yeah, we'll use the 18. 1, 3, 4, 5. There we go. 5 power plants, 90 power supply. That gives us 24 guns. Enemy target, let's say target enemy speed is 40,000 kilometers per second. That gives us a, oh yes, we need to replace the beam firing control tracking. So that's what we will do. So beam fire control. Beam fire control, we need this. We also are going to need the better fire control for this beam fire control. We don't have a 3.7k point defense version. I'll just add on another one of these then for the point defense. That shouldn't be too much of an issue. But no, that gives a 9% hit chance. So let's say we're firing 96 shots times 0.09. That means that each ship will kill 8.64 missiles with point defense against 40,000 kilometers per second missiles, assuming no ECM capability. Railguns, we can put on 150 tons. We can put on another railgun here if we want to. But I don't think we have the capability for that. I might look at overhauling sensors, but I don't think we need to really worry. We'll take off this sensor and we'll put on a new AN10, AN25. We can put on that sensor. They have 22 million kilometer range, which is pretty good. Take that a little bit of fuel out, and then also take off list fuel. There we go. That reduces the fuel supply, and then we're going to rename this to the Congo Block 2. And we'll get that in to immediately replace the older vessels, which we can't really do right now. Refit. Yeah, we need another dockyard, really. What we can do is going to be construction of our first 2 Chitose-class frigates, which are going to be very, very important. I'm going to put that into Shipyard Group 1, the Mitsushi and the Shizukane. Put those both into construction. I'm also going to begin construction, not yet on another large Luthien-class carrier. I'm going to wait on that. What is this squadron? Commercial Freight Group 4. Commercial Freight Group 4, what are you doing? Head back to Earth. 1 day increments. Yeah, there we go. Commercial Freight Group 2 is back at Earth. We're going to take off all of the strike group it has. So we're going to launch all. And then we're going to take out the cruisers are fine. That's the transfer. The cruisers are under this. So the transfer class carrier, we will attach you. You are there. We're going to then have you be scrapped. So that's what we'll have happen. Begin scrapping of a Kagi class carrier. So CV Kagi. Transval. Begin scrapping process on that. We can also, we'll be building the Chitose class frigates, which are going to be very, very important. We'll probably use those, again, to replace those in-field forces. Stefano was repaired at Earth. Control capacity upgrade done over here for the Yangtze Block 2. So we're going to begin retooling for the Abashiri class guided missile destroyer, which is proper second generation missile destroyer, which should be able to replace the future vessels. It's also a little bit bigger. And then we also have this exploration class vessel. We can begin scrapping. Probably want to begin scrapping some of these. Aberdeen. No, I think for now I'm going to retool this to the Congo Block 2s, and we'll use this for Block 2 construction. Blizzard, we're already producing a Blizzard. In terms of our mining situation, stockpile is still not looking great. Europa is still building up more mines, more economic improvements, because we're waiting to get the efficiencies up. Commercial Freight Group 4 complete orders. Don't give them along. 3 Yangtze Block 2s were built and assigned to reserves. We're now going to begin, obviously, waiting for the retooling process for the Abashiris. This now leaves us with, if I have a look at order of battle, 7. We have 7 of the Block 2s there. We also have over here, we have 4, so that gives us 11, 13. We have about 13 Block 2, Yangtze Block 2s, or Yangtze class vessels in general. We're going to then need to build up the newer vessels, and we've faced some serious problems with our economic situation and accomplishing that. We finished up production of the Arashis, so we currently have 39 in stockpile. We're going to continue to build those because those are really what's going to save us. So I'm going to order up another 500 missiles to be produced, which is a lot of resources. That's approximately 500 Galasite. No, 5,000 gallasite in terms of mining. And that's a lot that we need to get. We only produce about 3,000 tons a year. We need to get those shipped over. But yeah, we're going to wait until we can get more colonists actually moved. The Squadron 3 is complete. Orbis is orbiting Arrakis. So what we're going to do now is going to order Destroyer Squadron 2, which is now at the end of its ropes, to head back to Sol, refuel, resupply. Yeah, refuel, resupply as quickly as you can, and then we'll begin an overhaul process for that squadron as they now leave the colony. We begin scrapping of some vessels, but if we go to Arrakis, we should now have fuel and resupply over here. Earth is now producing its maintenance supplies, which is good news. In terms of our ground forces, are we still training up these forces properly? We do have 200 battalions trained ready to go. We're just going to start producing mass infantry, and then also going to divvy in a couple heavy mechanized companies, and then yeah, a couple heavy mechanized, some mechanized, normal mechanized companies, and then just more infantry. More infantry is what we need. Racial wealth situation is not improving. Why is that? Is that because of ship construction? I would imagine so. Yeah, the wealth situation is kind of not equalizing properly. Taxes are helping somewhat. What we really need to sort this situation out is, I don't really have anything available to do it, but would be if we go over to production, it's getting this research. I'm going to cancel missile launcher reload rate for now. I'm going to cancel electronic warfare for now, and I'm going to dedicate 9 labs to getting us wealth generation tech, because that should hopefully get us out of the situation, economically speaking. We are, again, trying to improve it, but it's taking some time. It's taking some serious amounts of time here. Alpha, the Ishikari Mitsushi... Ishikari Mitsushi, what do you mean? Both of you on your way home. You're fine. What is the Mount Olympus, the Vistula, and the Olympus are in Alpha? Yeah. Which are you? Are you... Destroy Squadron 2. They're fine. Then who the hell was this? Is a commercial freight group. Naval mobility group. Fuel transport group. There's no one in Alpha. What do you mean? Alpha, Mount Elishu, Destroy Squadron... Destroy Squadron 2. Fuel Transport Group 2. Fuel Transport Group 2. What are you doing? Fuel Transport Group 2. You don't have anything in you. Where the hell are my ships? Vistula, you are fine. You are fine. You guys are fine. You guys are fine. You are fine. Destroyer Squadron 3, Squadron 2. I can't see where that destroyer... We've got a fuel problem. The JNS, Vistula, the Mount Rushmore, and the Olympus are currently at 9.7% fuel availability. The only military ships that are in the system, unless Replenishment Squadron 2, maybe? Replenishment Squadron 2. Okay, that's what we're talking about. Okay. You're orbiting Kareem at the moment. That's why. Kareem has fuel available on it, if I remember myself correctly. Yeah, 70 million liters of fuel. The problem is we don't have a refueling station on the world. Yeah, we don't have a refueling station currently on the world. So we need to get that moved over. If I remember myself correctly, I was building one. We have an ordnance transportation and cargo shuttle station. We don't have a refueling station. Fueling station will be done November of this year. Let me take off some of this infrastructure and then give that to the refueling station, because we need it as quickly as possible, ideally. We'll just have to deal with the increments there. Okay, the Squadron 2 is now orbiting Earth, so we can then begin a refit overhaul process. So begin overhaul, rewind clock. Squadron 2 also now back, and then we begin refits on those vessels as needed. Okay, have we finished up production here of the refueling station? No, we're not. We need July 31st, and then we can get that moved over, and then they should be fine. The Phobos and Umbrio will just built Earth into cruiser reserve. We're going to stop production of any new vessels for that. And we're going to begin refitting older. Aberdeens to the new ones. So that's 2 new ones to be refitted. But we're going to start production of those until we get the Haruna class vessels ready to go. And to get those, we're going to need to wait for the additional missile research to be done. Okay. Secondary power explosion just occurred. That was because of maintenance life problems. Ooh, okay. We need to get these guys out of it, otherwise they're going to blow up. Tanker orbiting Earth. Head to Alpha. Head to Kareem at full speed, please. Did we at least get the refueling station done? We did. Can I get freighters moving that as soon as possible then, please? Freighter group 1. Freighter group 2. Freighter group 2 is the only one I have available for this. Load installations, load refueling station. We're gonna have to load 0.25 or 0.2 of it at a time. So load refueling station 0.2, go to Alpha, unload onto Kareem, and then head back to Sol and refuel, and then repeat these consistently. We are going to get that additional help in though as soon as we can. We also just finished up construction of F4s. We're going to keep building them. 72 F4s to be built. And then with the remaining construction capability here, we're going to start building up. We need to sort our financial situation out because that's going to really drag us down. Start building more financial centers, as many as possible, please. Okay, tanker is now here. Fantastic. Okay, destroyer squadron that's currently here. Detach this destroyer squadron. Begin refueling from, and this destroyer squadron was from Cash Group 2, if I remember myself correctly. Begin refueling from stationary tankers, and then go to Sol. Join up with Cash Group 2. And join a subfleet. But once you're done with that refueling effort, you should be fine. Cash Group 2 is unable to load up infrastructure. Yeah, we'll go to commercial flight group 2. Yeah, there you go. We'll move all and let us begin moving that over. So yeah, Europa now actually getting a lot more people in, which is really useful. And we are starting to get the mining situation a little bit better up for us here. We are running out though from the projected usage amounts that we are needing. So I'm going to stop that production on maintenance supplies for now. That's the problem, is the maintenance supplies. Okay, complete our overhaul. The Prospero complete overhaul. Special Flight Group has arrived. So the maintenance failure on the Ishikare. Once that gets back to port, it should be fine. A few battalions being trained. Forested Mountain, because Terra Nova's changing around. Did Terra Nova have any resources, by the way? Let me go over to Minerva. Terra Nova did, but it just wasn't very good accessibility-wise. If I have a look at minerals, survey sites, yeah, we don't really have any good mineral excavating or anything like that. That'll be scrapped at least, but yeah, the usages we need for these production efforts is pretty high. And the JNS Transvaal was just scrapped, which is good news. That's another vessel gone. We have a bunch of stockpiles now, which we can begin to get rid of. We're going to begin scrapping the engines, because those give us a bunch of stuff, primarily a lot of different research. Commercial ion drives, beam fire controls, we can disassemble those, because those are going to be of important research. So disassemble. Same with these, disassemble. Start scrapping these components. And we'll keep most of these, but there we go. They gave us a bunch of minerals, a lot of galacite probably, and then we got a bunch of different research for better beam fire control technologies from those beam fire controls, which is very, very good. That will reduce the technology that we'll need for a lot of things. We also nearly have terraforming modules done here shortly, which will be very, very important. Okay, crew quarters, just Essex has suffered. Again, where is the Essex? God, I'm losing track of things. I need to go for another round of organization, because this is getting very messy very, very quickly. Close these. Freighters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, there's nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. There's the Essex. You are following these guys, but you are in Sol System. They're in Sol System right now. Okay. when you're standing orders, when your deployment fuel is less than 50%, go refuel, resupply from Earth, and then your maintenance life is also really bad. So begin an overhaul on Earth. Nah, don't begin an overhaul. You're not worth it. You're not worth keeping around. We will replace you with a Blizzard class carrier. Let's go Squadron 5. Begin scrapping. Yeah, there's a bunch of F2s on it as well. It's not worth it. We're going to detach all these F2s, and I'm going to just delete them. And then for the carrier itself, we will just begin a scrapping of scrap. So you scrap the Essex, get that done. And we're just trying to reduce consumption, reduce the amount of maintenance supplies we need to maintain our Navy as much as we can. Infantry battalion is being trained up, which is good news. So we're going to begin assembling some of these guys together. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to add in mechanized companies. That's 4 regiments ready to go. So we're going to rename this to the 1st Infantry Regiment. Cancel. What we'll do is we will do Infantry Regiment. And then we'll just hit copy on this. And then we can just replace as needed. So replace. And then also replace. And then we're going to put these under the division. So these guys will go under this division. So the 1st Infantry Division, put them under here. And this Infantry Division headquarters doesn't have enough. So we need to use the larger ones. Yes, there we go. Use the larger division. So that should mean that we have approximately within this 200,000 tons of ground forces, 200,000 tons of infantry. I would also like to get them an artillery force ready to go. We have these artillery here that are ready, but we don't have anything else. I want to give them at least a combat engineer battalion because we have that available to us. So we'll put that in the division. Then we can, so that gives us 210,000 tons. Give them an artillery battalion as well, and they're pretty much good to go. We're going to rename this to the 1st Infantry Division, or the 4th Infantry Division. And we're then going to get this artillery battalion probably moved over. We'll keep the tank division where it is until we can get replacements in. We've got 4 infantry regiments on the surface, but obviously losses are pretty high over there. So let me go over to what we have for our transports. Now we're Squadron 1. Load up on Kareem. Can you load up the tank battalion and all its subunits, and then bring that over to Earth? And then what we're going to do is we're going to ship these forces out to Arrakis, and they're going to provide defensive. They're going to sit there as either defensive or eventually staging operations. But no, we will go and deploy those as needed over there. So Nova Squadron on the way. Okay. And again, economic situation is still hovering around itself. Finishing up overhauls. We can begin construction of more Abashiri class vessels, though we also would like to refit. I'd like to refit old vessels, but I think the better plan is to just build new ones. So we're going to build newer destroyers. What's the mining situation look like? Oh, let's not. Let's hold off on building those for now. That means we'll only have. Did we build one already? Did we manage to build an Abashiri class vessel? Or are we currently building one? We are ship name Destroyer Reserve. We are building a Yangtze Block 2. Okay, we'll build a single Abashiri class vessel just to, test it out. So we'll build the JNS Transvaal. That used to be a carrier name, but now it's not anymore. And then with Squadron done, what we're then going to do is we're going to attach the artillery battalion to the division. That gives us 250,000 tons of ground forces currently sitting here. I'm going to make sure that the field positions are all set up correctly. So rear echelon. Set all formations up rear echelon. And then for the artillery, we're also going to do the exact same thing. Rear echelon. And then the infantry division also do for rear echelon. And then the artillery battalions, we're going to set for support formations. So they're going to provide support. That's a 250,000 ton infantry formation ready to go. So we're then going to order them to be moved around. So we're going to refuel from Earth. We're going to load up the 4th Infantry Division. And we're going to ship them out over to Zitomir. I'm going to unload them onto Arrakis. Now, we could look at retaking Nerox, which I would like to do. I would like to. But I'm not sure we'd have the capability to do that. I mean, what's our tank forces looking like? 230 tanks left. We have these 2 battalions available. We have a total, yeah, we have these 2 tank battalions available. Now, reminder that each heavy mechanized company is usually, if we go over to ground forces, unit class design formation templates, go over here, is usually 43 tanks per. So if you have a look at each heavy mechanized company in each of these tank battalions, so 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're not, these are not great. Well, no, these should be 10,000 tons. I'm not sure because I marinated them together. I remember, yeah, to reduce costs. We need to combine these. We can probably send a single tank battalion, which is what I will have to probably do. So I'm going to combine the 3rd and 2nd tank battalions accordingly. So we're going to take all of these. I'm then going to add in that many. We're going to add in those. We're going to add in this tank battalion is pretty much good to go. So I will begin splitting these up. So we will do 45, change over here. We will then do 8 over there, and then 8 over there. So that gets us approximately 25,000 tons of tanks ready to go. I will order then for these to be moved around. So Neighborhood Squadron, this Neighborhood Squadron go to Alpha, load up the 2nd tank battalion, including all subunits, and take that over to Zitomir and to Arrakis, and you'll unload the ground forces there. In that same vein, I'm going to get ready to order the Carrier Strike Group to begin moving in that direction. And Carrier Strike Group 1 currently is sitting right here. We don't really have, I'm going to delete this real quick. We have our destroyers all ready to go. Aberdeen's, we need a replacement if we can. I know we should have replacements available. If I go over to reserves, fleet reserve, cruiser group, we have the Phobos ready to go, so we're going to swap that in. The Ariel, we're going to swap that out and put that into reserve. The Phobos and Stefano are ready to go. The Ariel's already refitted then. Yeah, there we go. Those are ready to go. We're going to hit load ordnance from Colony. We're then going to order them to head over to Zitomir, head to Arrakis. And in the same vein, we're going to have a replenishment squadron, which is what we need. China, the JNS China, I'll get out and we'll place this and put this in as replenishment in space squadron 1. We will have you refuel, resupply, and then head over to Zitomir, head over to Arrakis, and then you'll be providing the refuel and resupply needed for the fleet. Retooling for Congo Block 2 class is done, so we can begin refitting those vessels, though again, the supply situation is not going great right now. Also, oh god, we just used up a lot of maintenance supplies right now. Begin production. We really need to begin production. I'm going to halt on Arashis for now. So pause Arashi production as much as we can here. And then we'll also be scrapping these vessels here. We'll have this Tempest, that Tempest vessel done. But yeah, the costs are not great here. Alpha, Rockies, fuel situation is not great over here. We should be able to begin refueling on Kareem. Move to location, wait for the replenishment squadron to get over here. Move to Kareem. We didn't refuel properly, it looks like. I should have refueled them more properly. But we should be able to get, if we look at Kareem, we nearly have a refueling station available, so we can just refuel from there. But no, we'll get Carrier Strike Group to move back to Kareem. Blizzard was just completed. That's good news. So I'm going to have the squadron. You haven't refueled and done anything. You're orbiting Kareem. Head back to Sol. Move to Earth. Replenish in Space Squadron. This squadron. Move to Kareem, please. And you will resupply them as needed. We will also have, obviously, the commercial freight squadron should come in and refuel them. We're going to have you join with the Carrier Strike Group. So join as subfleet, and then we'll set you up to refuel on fleet. Yeah, that's good. And I will then have the commercial freight squadron. They should join. Okay, that's done. We're going to have Carrier Strike Group 1 then begin refueling from Kareem. Refuel. We don't have a cargo shuttle station on Kareem, but we do have refueling now, which means we can begin to access this fuel, which we so desperately need. So once you are refueled, we have ordnance ready. We don't have ordnance on our Yankees and Aberdeens are pretty much ready to go. However, we don't have ordnance on the carrier itself. Is that because I haven't set it up correctly? Probably, yes. Luthien fleet carrier, Luthien ordnance and battalion. You need to be provided with the proper ordnance, and then for the fighters, they should have the SM-8Bs as well on them. Okay, once you've refueled, you're going to head over to Arrakis. Okay, you're going to head to Arrakis, and we are going to then go over to Arrakis ourselves here. So we're currently waiting for those ground forces to be moved over. Okay, Carrier Strike Group 1 is on the way. Now, Risk Squadron is also on the way. Commercial Freight Group is done. So if I go over to Commercial Freight Group 1, good job for them. Yeah, where is that military space live? Commercial space live. There we go. Military Freight Group 1. We're then going to begin loading up a cargo shuttle station, and we'll do that at the exact same. We'll begin moving that over to Kareem as well. So load up cargo shuttle station 0.2, load, and then we're going to take that over to Kareem, unload. Oh, I need to make sure that's actually loaded properly. Load cargo shuttle station, add move. Why is that not? Oh, I know why, because I've been an idiot. Load cargo shuttle station, max 0.2. Then head to Alpha, unload onto Kareem, and then head to Sol, and then refuel. And we'll repeat this 4 times. There we go. Okay, Carrier Strike Group is now here. Okay, in the AO. Fuel is doing okay. They should be able to refuel from the Megami as they sit there now. And we're waiting for those naval mobility squadrons to arrive to unload forces to begin moving over. In fact, we don't need to unload them, to be honest. Okay, Naval Mobility Squadron 2 and 1. You are going to head... So 2, you're going to head to Nerox. And Naval Squadron 2, you're also going to head to Nerox. Okay, there you go. Carrier Strike Group 1. How's refueling underway? We're nearly full. Yeah, we're refueled, which is good news. What is the distance into Nerox and into Nerox 2? That is 3 billion kilometers. So we are going to detach this replenishment space squadron, and then I'm going to head over into Nerox and head to the colony. Okay, here we go. I'm going to clear the colony first and make sure that we have secured the area. So new hostile population contact on Nerox. Yeah, there we go. And we're now going to await for the ground forces to arrive. So there's Naval Mobility Squadron 1, Naval Mobility Squadron 2. Alright, let's begin moving them over and let's start unloading. So Naval Mobility Squadron 1 has access to all the ground forces, and it's Nerox 2 that the enemy's over. Unload all ground forces, and then unload all ground forces onto the colony. Okay, tanks are loaded, are now on the ground. Infantry will be following. I probably should have timed this better. This is going to be a brutal assault because they're going to be on their own here until we get those ground forces moved over. So frontline attack. Are we on the right world? Yes, we are. Huh, they are not attacking us yet. At least it seemed like it. Ground forces are there on Nerox 2. That is where the enemy colony is, as far as I can understand, unless I'm... Oh, it's on the moon. Oh, thank Christ. Well, unload them onto the Nerox 2 anyway, because that will allow us to then move them all over correctly. So unload. Thank God, because otherwise we would have lost all those. That takes about 4 days. So, Naval Squadron 1, load up on Nerox 2, load up the entire infantry division, and then move to this location. Naval Squadron 2, load up the tank battalion, and then head over to the moon of Nerox 2. That is where you want to head to. Move last, Nerox 2, move to the moon. Ooh, move that back, and then, yeah, this takes about 4 days, so we need to time this correctly. Okay, they completed all this, they're now orbiting the moon. So we're going to then order So November Squadron 1, you're going to order unloading. Actually, this will make this... Why am I even doing this? It doesn't make this a lot easier if I just have them join as a subfleet. And then order the squadron to unload all ground units onto the moon of Nerox. So create colony, unload all ground forces on the moon, and that should take we'll see how long that will take. So that'll take 11 days. The JNS moon, where was that? That is, you are over here. You are going to need... let me go over to you. Are you actually following correctly? Because I'm still not sure if they are. JMS Moon, they're not. I've got to figure out a system that will be better for this to actually protect our ships. We will resupply from Earth. Let me go back to Nerox. Okay, 11 days to go. So we're going to just increment along here. Here we go. We completed orders. They have unloaded all forces onto the planet. Let me go over to Nerox. So there's the forces. Put this as part of the division. Actually, no, we don't need to put them part of the division. They can be on their own. The 2nd Tank Battalion can be on their own. Okay, so we have a total of 282,000 ground forces on the planet. We have an artillery battalion we are supporting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have these guys provide, if I can... No, I don't want you under here. What I want to have happen is for you to support them. Which I'm not sure if I'm able to. Clear support, provide support. No, I think they'll just provide, they'll fire better on their own. I don't think I can because they need to be over the formation. Alright. 8-hour increments. Okay, we have engaged the enemy. We lost 1,338 ground forces, 2 colonels in the engagement as well immediately. We opened up. Let's have a look at what we managed to do. Attack report. Are we able to fire for those support weapons? Should be able to because they're medium bombardment. Artillery battalions, infantrymen. So losses, a lot of losses incurred. Let me have a look at ground force amounts. So artillery, you should be able to open fire now from your support position. Just fine. Yeah, I need to put these in a high hierarchy. So what I'll do is I'm going to detach them from the division and we'll put them... Yeah. We'll detach them from the division. We'll take these out. And then we will put them here. That doesn't seem to work. I'm misunderstanding this again. Was Buckley swordman to a spiritual provisional hierarchy of the sport does not serve any subordinates, an independent artillery battalion, for example. Okay, we'll just put these in the infantry division, and then we will take the tanks back out, and then we will just... I presume they should fire. They should just fire themselves, because they've just got their guns. Don't have a colonel on them, though. Okay, here we go. We're opening up. Yes, there we go. They're firing just fine. We did take a lot of losses, though, from them. A lot of Nerox 155mm guns died. In terms of what we fired back, attack report, are we not even firing bloody back? Support formation. Well, losses are down, but losses for medium artillery battery. Medium artillery battery is not actually firing back, it looks like. Okay, well, I'm just going to set them all to frontline defense. I'm not sure why. I don't have time to troubleshoot it, so I'm just going to set these to frontline defense. Frontline defense action and return fire. Lithium MBTs, we lost a lot of those. Artillery, medium artillery batteries, there we go. We're actually being able to fire now. Just keep up the fire against the enemy forces as much as we can. And we're continuing. But that kind of defeats the purpose of the artillery, which is really annoying me. Because we should be decimating them from the back line, but we're not able to because, again, I'm going to try it again. Put them in support. Put them in a supportive formation. We've lost all the guns pretty much at this point. Okay, we're continuing the assault. Continuing 316 infantrymen. Yeah, trades are still rough. But we are trading against them just fine so far. We've lost 75,000 tons. There's no way we've lost that many forces. Have we? Infantry battalion, infantry. We have. Oh my god, we might lose the entire division here. Yeah, we just lost. I think we just lost our entire division. Oh god. Okay. Well, pull out what we can. There's no reason to let them sit there and take that bombardment. Then with Squadron 1, load as many of those forces up as possible, as quickly as you can. Get them out of there. Save as much as you can. Okay. Oh, it doesn't like that. Divide by 0. Oof. Something's going wrong. Okay, we're back. Yeah, because it's there's loading. What did we have? What did we manage to get out of that? Oh god. Show ships. Nothing. Great. Okay. Oh, I just lost a lot of forces there. A lot of forces for not a lot of reason. That was really bad of me. Well, that's a failure. I'll see you guys next time. Please like, comment, subscribe. Really just help out. And goodbye.